yet another episode of the Dynamic CIO Talk Show. I'm your host, Smruti Gandhi, Director Community Engagement and Executive Editor for Dynamic CIO, and I welcome all of you. When we talk about Google, Xerox, Zoom, all have something in common. Okay. All of them are now verbs. Google stands for search, Xerox stands for photocopy, and Zoom stands for video conferencing. Am I audible? Let's catch up over Zoom. I am inviting you to my Zoom wedding. Now, these are very common phrases that we've been hearing in the new normal. And now, before the pandemic, a company like Zoom would have never imagined to have this kind of traffic spike, quite like this. Now, today I have with me Mr. Raje, General Manager and India Head Zoom Video Communications India. And we will be talking on what COVID did for Zoom and what Zoom did for COVID. Welcome to the show, Mr. Raje.
Thank you, Smruti. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. So without much ado, let me just move into the questions and our interaction. Now I spoke about, I want to talk with you and discuss with you what COVID did for Zoom and what Zoom did for COVID. So, COVID and work from home saw a huge upsurge in the users of Zoom, which is definitely good news for the business, correct? However, could you highlight some of the challenges that the company faced as, the COVID-19 raged across the world?
Well, absolutely. I would say it was in two ways. Okay, the first and foremost, if you look at Zoom was always an enterprise grade product, which meant that we always envisaged large corporates or enterprises to use Zoom. And you have IT or you have technology people to tell you what to do, what not to do the setups for you, and there is a complete definitive buying process for that, and setup procedure for that. However, with COVID, what happened is we started seeing a completely different set of users coming on the platform. And these users were individuals or, even home people like family members starting to use Zoom for their personal purposes. Now, what happens is when you have your own devices and you're using any platform or any application, and you are unaware about, how to go about using it, then it's a completely different thing. So that was the first huge change which happened. Which is we saw a shift in the kind of user patterns which came into our platform. So that was first thing. The second thing, obviously, we were, the kind of growth that we went through during this COVID period was simply phenomenal. It was unheard of in the history of SaaS platform where, such a sudden uptake in the services. So that was the second aspect. And obviously, when you grow at such a pace, there are a lot of challenges which come on board. Well, I mentioned that, the kind of users that came in, but also during this time, we saw a lot of uptake in, cybercrime in the world and, the way people were using. And also, it also exposed a lot of things on our platform, because it was being used in a very different manner. So obviously, first and foremost, we had to, ramp up our teams, that is hire more and get more people on board to cater to this. And second thing was our beefing of the platform in terms of everything for the end users who are different, who were individuals, or maybe senior citizens using Zoom. So we had to make sure that this platform is safe to be used in a way they are using it, and not give them something which is which we feel is right for a particular set of users. So the platform had to go a complete transformation for those set of users, and that's what happened. And obviously, we ramped up very fast and we went into a 90-day freeze, and we brought in a complete change. We stopped developing features and focused more on educating and upgrading our platform. And that's been ever since. Even today, we believe that all the user community proactively needs to be trained and educated on how to use the collaboration platform, and has been our key motto of it.
Great, shift in the user profile is something which I'm sure, you as a company or the whole industry did not anticipate that, even individual users, as I said in the start, I'm inviting you for my Zoom wedding. So, every and anybody. So I think the shift has been very positive, if I may look at it from grass is always greener on the other side. But yeah, for me, if I take, Zoom it has been a very positive shift. And I'm sure, the cybersecurity and all the other challenges, the whole platform transformation that you did, I think it's benefited because maybe I'm saying it as from a user point of view, I'm on the other side. And currently we are also talking on Zoom, And I think the whole transformation has been very evident to anybody and everybody, from the corporate to the individual. Now, Zoom is very easy, simple for the technology challenge to use as well. Okay. Having said that, you spoke about the cybersecurity issues that come bundled with it. How did you manage the end-to-end encryption, security issues, perception issues as well?
Well, that's a fantastic question, Smruti. And to be honest with you, there are a couple of points over here. First and foremost, the reason why Zoom is so popular is first, of course, is the product and the simplicity of use, and it just works as our customers say that, right? But the second aspect is being honest and transparent in front of our customers. That's the most key thing. Well, today I was addressing my entire team, and that was, we keep on continuously drilling down in our employees' minds that how the importance of being an honest and upfront in front of our customers is important, and that plays extremely critical role. And that went into when we had some challenges, we didn't hide behind that saying that it's not our problem. We went ahead and transformed it. We invited people from outside, we invited organizations from outside, we hired cybersecurity experts, and we changed things, and we kept on communicating openly with the people, and that's what we continuously do. That's the first aspect. And obviously, when there were gaps identified, well, Zoom meetings were always encrypted. It's not that they were not encrypted, but a particular set of customers said that we want end-to-end encryption. Now, end-to-end encryption is very different. What I mean by that is, it comes with a lot of restrictions. So, for example, if you were to join a normal this call through a normal PSTN audio phone call, then encryption till the time you come to the cloud, Zoom cloud, is very difficult. It's not. So now today we have an end-to-end encryption. We went ahead and acquired a company called Keybase, which specializes into end-to-end encryption, and we introduced that. And you know what? To be honest with you, after end-to-end encryption was introduced, there are hardly any customers using it. Right? Well, it is readily available, but except for barring a few, maybe super secure organizations who need it, the general people don't even realize it. Now, if you click on the Zoom icon or the meeting icon, there is a green shield right on the left of screen. If you click on it, it will tell you, whether the encryption is enabled, not enabled. So we just brought it more in the open. We shared that. We also bought another company. We invested in it. They were specializing into end-to-end encryption, and we introduced that technology into our platform. So being honest, being upfront, communicating with our customers, sharing what is required, and also not hesitating in, be it acquisition of any company or introducing new technology features and hiring the right people. So that's what we do.
Also, I appreciate the values that you have within your organization and personally about being honest and transparent, which is what you embed in your employees as well. So I'll be very honest with you with asking this question as well. I know that there were a lot of perception issues with Zoom when COVID struck in and much before COVID as well. How do you handle those? Isn't it a very daunting task?
Well, it is. It is not an easy task, but nothing is easy in this world, right? And especially when you're a company which is growing at the pace that we do, it becomes even more difficult. But we had nothing to hide, right? So we engaged with all the stakeholders, be it the government stakeholders, be it stakeholders in the private segment, or be it communicating with the end customers directly through the media and channels. We continuously kept the communication open, and we still continue to do that, right? Because obviously, like for example, with the government, we shared all the relevant data in terms of how we, how the platform is built, how the architecture is, what the security things are, how the parameters are built, where does the data go, how compliant we are, and that's when we got a clearance from the government that this is what we look for, and you're honest. We not only that, but we are only one of the few companies which has a dedicated section on our websites regarding security and privacy and so on and so forth. Not only that, but we publish report every quarter in terms of the kind of requests that we get from the government, what is the outcome of that, how many percentage information has been shared, and so on and so forth. So we are that transparent. And I think that's what helped. Yes, it's a daunting task. Yes, it's a difficult task. But I think as we go ahead, and in this cyber world, security is of utmost importance, and that's what our focus is.
You just said security is of utmost importance. And, organizations, getting a clearance from the government, organizations understanding how, safe your platform is, etc., is well known. Now, as we spoke about that, the kind of profile changed of the customer as well, and as a individual customer who doesn't know much, they all, and with the cybersecurity issues, coming up every now and then, everybody's worried about their data. So where does Zoom store the Indian user data, and how secure the entire process is?
Point number one, let me clarify. We don't have your data, right? Because the key point is, hello? Yeah, because the key point is, Smruti, unless you choose to record the meeting, it's all transient data. That means the meeting is over, the data is gone. It's as simple as that. So that's the first thing. If you're holding a meeting, you're sharing something, Zoom has no access to it. Your meetings are encrypted, nobody can get into it, and there is no storage of data. Now, when you record a meeting, you have an option as a host in your settings where you can store that. Now, if you store the data on your own machine, well, we don't have access to it. It resides on your laptop. If you choose to store the meeting recording on our servers, then it is on our servers. Now, in India, we have two particular data centers. One is in Mumbai, one is in Hyderabad. That's they are for routing the data. And the other information or the key information what we have, that is, if you're a paid customer, then we have your billing information. We have your name, user ID, and your login credentials, and your payment details. So when we have that gets stored back in the US. And obviously in India there are other options, other data centers out here. It's up to a extent where you can choose where your data goes through, which data center it can go to. So that's how it works. So we only have your name, email address, and your billing details if you find it. Rest of the meeting is up to you where you store it.
I think that is the information that a lot of the individual users will benefit from this discussion, I'm sure. Also, I want to know now, with COVID specifically coming in, we are having a plethora of video conferencing apps. How do you tackle one, competition, and second, specifically clone video conferencing apps?
Well, again, when we started off in 2011, there were a lot of players in the industry at that moment. And if you look at it, it was not that Zoom started off or was the first application to be done. Maybe had a lot of competition. That is point number one. Zoom was formed with an idea of video first communication. That means for us, video is first and the rest comes later on. So when you devise your network, you devise your products around video, then obviously your network and your services are geared to handle that bandwidth changes and so on and so forth. The second thing, as I said, we are honest, we are upfront. Now, along with that, there is one key element that we do. And that element is listening to our customers and delivering what is required for them. So like, for example, now markets are opening up, people are getting back to work, which is great news. So we are now looking at, we have introduced a whole lot of things in terms of the hybrid environment. How, if you're partially in office, partially at home, are you in a safe environment? Can you interact or if there is a virtual desk, can you log in without even touching? Can you start your meetings without touching? Similarly, if it's a financial organization, and as you asked about data security, we recently introduced something known as BYOK, which is unheard of. Again, which is bring your own key. There are some organizations, when you do an encryption, they want to have their own keys and they don't want the service provider to have the access. So we brought in that. So we listen to our customers and keep on introducing features that they want. And that's what gives us the edge. Well, what competition does, whether they are similar to us or others, that's absolutely up to them. But we continue to focus on our customers and keep on bringing in features and functionality what our customers want. And obviously that coupled with being honest and upfront and transparent, that's what keeps us going.
I always heard of BYOD, bring your own device, and now that's what the new normal is, again becoming another new normal where
Oh, well, yes, absolutely. We have, in fact, I'm not sure if you've gone through some of the Zoomtopia recordings which we had last month, and in that we introduced something known as a virtual desk, where nowadays organizations are not really bringing 100% of the employees, or they are bringing on a rotation basis. So desks are on a rotational basis. So what we would do is just as scanning your mobile phone, you can log in and start using the desk or book the desk for the particular day. So these kind of features we keep on listening to our customers and keep on introducing. So you're right. I would urge you to look at the Zoomtopia thing, and there are lots and lots of features that we are introducing.
I will. This sounds very interesting. And so now, I know we are in paucity of time. I'll ask you one last question. What are your plans for the Indian market? And what is the mission of Zoom India?
Well, again, we have been extremely popular in India when it comes to as a video collaboration tool, right? So that's one thing. The second thing is now in line with our thought process and what the customer mandates are, we announced our tech center or technology center in Bangalore. Now, this was done predominantly because of the talent pool we have in it, and we want to tap into this talent pool. Today, we have a global technology center which has a huge manpower and which contributes to the development of the global platform. And this is not only for India. So what we are trying to do is this technology center is contributing to the global development of Zoom and reports back into the HQ headquarters at San Jose, and that's tapping into the Indian talent. So that's point number two. We want to be as localized as possible in the country and the Indian floor, right? And third is obviously continue to be in every organization and individual's device in terms of be it a smallest of the small trader community for whom we have some special services, to the largest of the large enterprises or government organizations. We will want to ensure that we are the platform of choice for them as a matter of collaboration.
I've been a user of Zoom for a very long time, at least from the pandemic for sure. And I can say, since simple, you always talk about 4 Ps. I would rather talk with you about 3 S: simple, scalable, and secure. And that's how I would term Zoom as. So thank you so much for this interaction. I'm sure our listeners and the community all are a user of Zoom, and they will look forward to much more features with what you all are getting in. And with most of the companies moving to a hybrid work environment, I'm sure Zoom is still here to stay, and a lot of scaling up will still be required. And I'm sure you'll be happy to do that and take it in a very positive sense. So thank you so much for this interaction. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Smruti. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.